So what's good, homies? It's your man, Dr. BOA. You know, I wasn't even gonna talk about this topic, man, because it really ain't even in my wheelhouse, man. And I got a lot of requests, man, to give my alpha perspective on it. And so I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and do something on it, man. And I watched the homie MTR, man, had an amazing live stream on it, man. I was driving, so all I could do was listen, man. And here's the thing, man. I think a lot of us are failing to realize one thing, that in our lives right now, the way we live, where we live, how we live, what we live for. Man, I don't even know no women like JT, man. And I don't even know any women who listen to her music. So I certainly don't know any women who are going to listen to anything she says and take it to heart. As a matter of fact, the women I know are going to do the opposite of whatever she says. So even if she says something good, they do the opposite just to not be aligned with her. See, what we got to start understanding as men is that every little random chick that says something doesn't speak for the majority of women. And she's one of those women. We know her history. And now that she's gotten a little glow up, got enough little paper to make herself look presentable, we still don't know how she look even today without the makeup on. But I will say this. As men, we really have to stop making it seem like what these women say is life altering for us. Because we know the truth in the numbers. Let's take a deep dive on this one. But first, let's elevate to a higher plane. Prepare for takeoff. Now what you hear is a woman who's from the gutter. And she's reminiscing about a time where when she was dead broke, there were men, probably low-level D-boys or low-level hustlers, that she had to step and fetch, bow down and kowtow to. And now she's saying that if you're broke, you don't deserve no loving. She's speaking for herself. She's saying you don't deserve none of her loving. In other words, if you broke and you can't pay for it, you don't deserve it. But that's anything. If you go into a restaurant and you can't pay for the food, you're not going to get served, bruh. If you go to the gas station and you need gas in your vehicle, if you ain't got no money to pay for gas, you're not going to get served. But here's the thing. Those things are very beneficial to you and can affect your life. What some chick says about what you shouldn't get based on her idea of what broke is, and based on her thinking that every man wants her anyway, let's be realistic, man. This means absolutely nothing. Because as I stated earlier, I don't know any women, man, who think like her. I don't know any women who listen to her. I don't know any women who look like her. I don't know any women who are focused on the things she's focused on, man. I don't deal with women who think that it's a man's job to trick off on them. And you got to keep in mind, if there's a woman who got somebody spending 50 bands on her while she's still stuck in a halfway house, she ain't eating free. Dude pick her up and blow 50 racks on her. How else is she supposed to think? But not all women have this. And here's the thing. Any woman who listens to her, that's her loss, not ours. There's a whole world of women out here. So we got to stop acting like some little rap chick, who, by the way, probably ain't making that much money. Let's be realistic. Compared to where she was in the gutter, she probably making money. But let's be realistic. Only the upper echelon of rappers make money. And here's the thing. Even they only make money off shows, merch, and those types of things. Because nobody that's a rapper makes any money off record sales. All the sales go to the label. That's how the labels stay in control. That's how they stay running. That's how you recoup your advance. by letting the label keep all the money on sales. And she's undoubtedly in a 360 deal where the label is getting a cut of everything she does. And let's be realistic. Let's not act like these girls are on the level of, say, a Cardi or even a Megan. Let's not act like that. The bottom line is this, man. We as men have to stop expecting something from women other than what we're getting. There are certain types of women the same way there are certain types of men. There are certain types of men who believe that having a full body of ink is a smart thing to do. There are other men who don't have any ink, such as myself. There are men who believe that walking in somewhere slugged up with a full slug of jewelry in your mouth is a practical thing to do. There are other men like myself who don't. There are men who feel like having a criminal record is a wonderful thing. There are other men who believe that it's not, such as myself. And just like we can say that about men, there are women who believe that it's a man's job to take care of them in exchange for their loving. But there are many women who don't. There are women who believe that they're supposed to be in a 50-50 relationship because they make their own money. There are many women who don't. And there are the few gems who believe that it's their duty to submit to a man. I'm not talking about that fake submission where they talk it but don't live it. And that's totally another group of women. See, as alpha kings, man, we wouldn't give a woman like this the time of day. You understand? I play with a little paper, but I wouldn't give a woman like that the time of day even if she didn't want no money. Because as men, we understand the value that a woman has and what she's able to contribute into our lives. And at the same time, we understand the detriment of having a woman in our lives that doesn't contribute anything but negative energy, Jezebel spirit, lecherous mentality. See, we as men have to stop making these women feel like what they say and do matters so much to us. This is just a warning sign. This is just a cautionary tale. When a woman is from the gutter, she is scarred by that experience the same way a man from the gutter is scarred by that experience. There are mental, emotional, and spiritual scars from being in that environment, from being in the toxic nature of that environment, from being in the dog eat dog, shark bite shark world that is that environment. So how dare we as men elevate that woman who is from the gutter to being a spokeswoman for women who have never experienced that, for being a spokeswoman for women who have gone to school and made better of themselves, of being a spokeswoman for women who pride themselves in their ability to earn their own money, for being a spokeswoman for women who believe that they should appreciate a man being in a position to provide for them and dedicate themselves fully to the upkeep of that kingdom that man has built. It is us who give women like this the platform and growth that they experience. Because it's no surprise that there are some women that are going to agree with this. What's really surprising is that we act like she speaks for women that we know. Well, I've never met a woman who told me, man, anything like this. And let's be realistic. Any woman who will be influenced by this and suddenly change the way she views things based on this, it is not something we should be mad about. It is something we should be glad about. Because statements like this only expose the women around us who feel this way deep inside. The same way statements that men make expose the men around us who feel a certain way. Just think if somebody made a statement and said, you know what I'm saying, it's your right, it's your duty to sleep with your homie, old lady, just to show him what kind of scallywag he got. Now, if your partners agreed with that, then you know which one of your partners to keep away from your broad, right? All this is a wake-up call for us to let us know, look at the women around you who support this. And then you know how to gauge them, how to interact with them, what to expect from them. But the reality of the scenario is this. Expecting women to change course in a society that makes it easy for them to stay on their path of self-destruction is just something that's not going to happen. They're lost, man. They're lost. They're so lost, they can't be found. We can't even find them. We can go on a search and rescue mission for the rest of our lives, and we'll never find women. They're lost, man. They're gone. And then you have the other side where men are speaking negatively about men who are going around the world to find a wife. Why wouldn't we? See, here's the problem. If you just want to have intimacy, you can get that in the States. But if you want a woman that you're going to put in a position who deserves to be in a position in your life, you got to get that from outside of here. So unless you just traipsing around sleeping with all kind of different women, you don't care what JT says. If you're a man who wants a wife, who wants a woman, you know that's not the type. And any woman who agrees with that, bam, you put them all over there in the do not disturb category. Put them over there and let them do their thing and don't interrupt them. But as men, we got to keep in mind one thing. A woman is going to be who she's going to be. She's going to say what she's going to say, and she's going to believe what she wants to believe. And they don't change. They do not change until it's too late, until they hit the wall and see the error of their ways. And I'm going to be honest with you. Pre-wall, post-wall, no wall. There is no way any of us, men of renown, honorable men, respectable men, accomplished men, distinguished men, should give a flying you know what about what JT says. Because I'm going to be honest with you. If it wasn't for the popularity she's achieved in rap, how many of us would even know who she is? And here's the problem. Triggering us is a game to women. They say things to trigger us. What is she known for besides rapping about what she's saying? If a woman feel like this, man, and she come at you and she takes a loss by not dealing with you, man, that's her loss, not yours. We don't lose nothing if a woman say, well, you ain't got no money for me. Cool, because I'm not finna take care of you anyway. I'm not here to be your trick. But there are many men who are. And part of the blame for this is those men who do the tricking. If a woman can get tens of thousands of dollars from a man or from multiple men, what else is she gonna think? Because here's the thing, a lot of these ideas come from men dirty macking. Well, if your man can't do this, he don't deserve you. What he doing? What you doing with that man if he can't do this for you? I've heard this with my own ears. Well, and if your man can't do this for you, you don't need him. He ain't no man at all. And remember, women are very impressionable. So from your mouth to her ears, into her mind, which is gonna joggle everything up, the problem ain't the woman. The problem is your expectations for yourself. You deserve what you accept, but you also deserve what you demand. And every man who is any man should demand better than this. Because I ain't seen no other picture of her without makeup. But looking at these two side by side in the thumbnail, who wants to wake up to that anyway? The bottom line is this, man. Let these women say what they're gonna say. Because here's the problem. There's a difference between a woman and a scallywag. Why are we listening to scallywags in the first place? Y'all comment down below and let me know what you think about this topic, man. I look forward to hearing what you men have to say. I'm out.